Hey guys, I'm back with my 1 month 1 palette for January. If you do not know what palette I used for the month, I did use my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I have my little helper here today. I'm just going to go ahead and put a pillow in front of my makeup to maybe keep her from being interested. Okay, I did get this for Christmas, which I was so excited. It had been on my radar for quite a while. It was just one of those things like I didn't pick up. I have so many warm shadows, but it was a perfect gift. If you're on the fence, get it. You will not be disappointed. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the clips right here and then we'll talk about it. Okay, today's look looks like this. And I went in with burnt orange all through the crease, antique bronze all over the lid and kind of into the crease, and then maybe added a touch more of the burnt orange, and then tempera on the brow bone and on the sides to kind of clean it up a little. Okay, for the second look, I watched a video of Ashley from Makeup TIA, and I did kind of a look going along with one of hers. I don't think I used the exact colors, but I took inspiration from that. So I used burnt orange through the crease. Then I mixed Vermeer and Primavera and used that through the inner corner and the first 1/3 of the lid. Then I went in with Venetian Red on the outer corner and blended it through the crease the teeniest little bit. And then I took Antique Bronze in the middle of the lid. I started out just trying to soften the edge, but it ended up being like a 3-part look. And then I took a tiny bit more burnt orange and did it on the edge to blend it out. The eyebrow looks terrible. And then tempera as my brow bone highlight. So it's a little bit more to the look than I normally do, but I think it's really pretty. And I use my Chanel Burgundy eyeliner on my lower lash line. Okay, for today's look, I went in with golden ochre all over the lid, burnt orange in the crease, and then I took red ochre on the outer little stamping of the lid and blended it in the crease just a bit, and then took tempera on the brow bone. Okay, if you did not watch my January favorites video, this was in my favorites. The whole palette is really great, but specifically golden ochre and burnt orange. Golden ochre is kind of different in my collection. The closest thing I have to it is MAC Outre, which is, or was, limited edition. I don't know if you still have it. It's kind of like that, not quite mustard, like yellow, but leaning that way, but a little more wearable version. And then burnt orange was a perfect, like, blending out crease, you know, those warm browns that so many people love. The only shade in the palette that I just didn't really like was this Buon Fresco shade. I tried to wear it on my eyes today as kind of a one shadow look into my crease. I didn't like it. I went in with some burnt orange to warm it up. I've just found that I don't really like any shades that are even remotely cool. I don't know if my skin is warming up or not, but I find they don't look good on me as well. At all. Sorry. Vermeer, the top third one, the real shiny one, I could do without that. Some people, it would be a very beautiful lid shade. I've used it on my inner corner occasionally. It's just okay. So, let's run through all the shades real fast and talk about what I thought of them. Tempera is not a straight up matte brow bone, but it's matte enough that it's okay. Golden ochre, I've done it all over the lid. I've done it in the crease. I've done it on my lower lash line. It is beautiful. I mean, you cannot go wrong with golden ochre. Vermeer, like I said, it is a beautiful lid shade, but it's not my favorite. The Buon Fresco, if you lean towards liking cooler looks, it would be a perfect blending out crease shade. Antique Bronze, I've worn all over the lid, on the outer half of my eye, on the lower lash line. It's a good lid shade. Love Letter, I just did a tiny bit in the outer corner into the crease one day. And I mean, it's not a shade I'm going to reach for all the time. but it's a not, I mean, it's a nice shade. It's just one of those, since it's in the palette, occasionally I'll be bold enough to use it, but it's not something I'm going to go for all the time. Cypress Umber, I did do in the outer corner once. Once again, that's not a shade that I reach for a whole lot. It's just pretty dark, but a ton of people like really dark colors in their palettes, so it serves a good purpose, especially for them. Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange I used pretty much interchangeably. I liked Burnt Orange a little bit more. That was just a preference. But as kind of the crease shade blending out all over, lower lash line, however you want to use those kind of shades. Primavera. This is my only semi-beef with the palette, is Primavera and Antique Bronze were the only like lid shades to me. And I felt like there was a pretty big difference in the depth of the darkness. I would have preferred something a little darker than that, but some days I even mixed them, or I would do one on this part and the other one on the other half. It's kind of like a transition look, and it turned out really lovely. Red Ochre, I used this. It ended up being my favorite look. I'm pretty sure I filmed a look with it. Yeah, please stop. To where I wore Golden Ochre all over the lid. I think I used a touch of Burnt Orange through the crease, and then I used Red Ochre stamped on the outer corner and then blended it up through the crease. It was my favorite look. I wore it so many times. Venetian Red, I used it in the look I filmed that was kind of a take on Ashley from Makeup TIA. I mean, I liked it fine. I think Red Ochre, I preferred it than this, but to me they're kind of interchangeable, just like these are. Warm Taupe, I wore this all over the lid one day through the crease, kind of how people wear Burberry Almond as one of those just easy matte looks that you can just put on your eye and go, and it looks, you know, pretty polished, pulled together. It's a look you could wear to the office, to school, and you don't feel overly done up. I really, really liked it. And then Real Gar, I did take a little bit into my crease one day, and I liked it for that. But it's kind of like Love Letter. They're shades that, since they're here, I'll use occasionally, but they're not a specific, they're not an everyday shade to me. But, I mean, if you don't like warm shades, I don't think you would like this, because it is pretty warm. I mean, that is kind of neutral to cool. Warm Taupe, I don't know. If you like really cool shades, you may even find it kind of warm. I thought it was neutral. And then Cypress Umber is the only other one that could be considered not warm. So, you know, it is definitely a warm palette, but that is really the thing these days. She's throwing makeup down here. She's a crazy little baby. Anyways, so that was my 1 month 1 palette for the month of January. If you could not tell, I definitely give it a thumbs up. It is so worth picking up. The Anastasia palettes this year have just been, or 2016, have been phenomenal. I highly suggest them. So for February, I'm not going to do a 1 month 1 palette. I really just want to kind of play with my makeup and my collection. I am definitely downsizing. I mean, you can tell from my channel and my makeup sales. So what I have been doing with other facets of my collection is I've been taking turns using, say, a different cream eyeshadow base or a different blush each day, and really deciding what I do and do not want. So I kind of want to get into doing that with my single shadows or duos or trios. The only other large makeup palette I've never done a 1 month 1 palette on is that Tarte, you know, the one that came out last year, the bronzy one. I mean, I could do a 1 month 1 palette eventually with it. I just don't feel like it would be real different, because it's all very like one shade family kind of thing. Which, I mean, I definitely could do a 1 month 1 palette with it eventually. But I do want to just take a break on that and, you know, just play and not have a specific thing to do. But I will pick it up later down the road. If I end up getting a larger palette sometime this year, like if a new one comes out, there's not even any on my radar. I haven't been following all the new makeup, and if there has been a new palette, I don't know about it, but I foresee maybe Anastasia coming out with another new palette. The Kylie palettes do not interest me because I do not like Kylie. I just cannot give her a cent of my money. So I don't know. We'll just see where the year takes us. But, you know, I will be back again with one of these. But for now, we're just going to play around and see, you know, what I do. But anyways, that is all for this 1 month 1 palette. I hope you enjoyed it. If you pick it up and you love it, let me know. It is a really beautiful palette. So that is all. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.